of Mistugram, and CEO stands for Chief Evangelist Office. And why is that? Because really, I don't consider myself an executive. An evangelist is somebody who is an ambassador for the brand to promote it in a positive manner and to share its good works. So I want to clear that up. Welcome. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us again. And this is a series called Mornings with Mistugram, a new spin on mourning, because we are a social platform that is to cope with loss, and we are moving at the speed of life. And this is for not only remembering our lost loved ones, but also to embrace life through that journey. Now, loss is not an easy thing. Obviously, that's a given. And the point of this show is to help us get through these hard times as a community. And this is a digital era, and now with COVID, some people got pushed into this new way of life, and there could be a lot of good that can come out of being able to have a community on a digital platform. So I am using my channel and my platforms to embrace that community support and get through this together. And we invite you to share the wealth of knowledge, and that's part of being of Mistugram. Also, we do rotate topics of discussion if this is your first time among tribute, cope, and share, and today is about coping. I want to disclose, as I usually do, that I am not licensed in the medical field, but I am a licensed beautician, and that is part of human services. And if you go to my New York State licensing services, you will see that beauticians are in human resources. And you know, my job for 30 years was to make people look good. And what helped me realize to build Mistugram is that, you know, feeling good from the outside is one thing, but feeling good from the inside is a completely different transformation. And a lot of these times I am doing clients that have suffered loss either recently or they're celebrating an anniversary. And, you know, while we have discussions, memories of these wonderful people, because to them, they're wonderful, they're their loved ones usually. And you know what? It's amazing to see. It's like watching a flower bloom when somebody could actually share. And not only to keep the legacy alive of amazing people, but also the fact that people somehow are able to rejoice again, being able to share those feelings instead of keeping everything bottled up. Now, my theory is if you can get through losing somebody you love, you basically could get over anything, any challenge that life has to throw at you, because loss of life is the hardest challenge any human is going to ever face, and it's not something that anybody is excluded from. Unfortunately, at some we will all suffer great loss. I wish everybody longevity, health, and wellness, but that's not realistic. So this is a platform to build that community support and find ways to embrace life through these mysteries, the mysteries of life and the journey of coping. So I like to share resources, and today I got my resource from Healthcom. Now, this is a global platform, but I'm States, so it's a little bit easier to me to find resources that are maybe based out of the US. But you know, that's the beauty of the internet. You just have to type in maybe a question like, how do I cope with loss? And you're going to be amazed at all the professional articles miracles you will find, and it's just a matter of one step at a time. You know, it's a lot to absorb, and it's easier just to do nothing and sulk, but nothing good comes out of that. You are really harming your own cells. Believe it or not, you know, if you're not active in a positive manner, you start to degenerate. And we all know that. If you have ever visited somebody who's sick, that's why people go to rehab, because they have to help them move those muscles. Otherwise, it's a loss. Those muscles are lost. And the same with your brain cells. You know, you want to keep your brain as healthy as possible, because, you know, it's telling the rest of the body what to do, as well as your heart. And that's part of your emotional state, and the heart and the mind really need to have like a marriage for a great system. Again, I am a regular human having regular human experiences. I have my own personal challenges, but I am thankful for the resources that I took advantage of so I could share how I was able to get over situations, whether it be loss, work, something that goes wrong in the house. It's coping mechanisms, and I love to share that, and I love to hear what you guys have to offer. And, you know, because of these shows, somebody reached out to me on social and was thanking me for helping them. And you know what? That made me so happy to know that, you know what? It's true. It's a confirmation that this community is working to help one another. So on this website, Health.com, there are some bullet points, and you know, they're always going to be the basics, but I'm going to go through them with you, and then I'm going to share them in my social links, so you could just maybe look over them. But I want to go back to my subtitle, which is called, you know, a new spin on mourning, because the mourning is that moment in time that it's a fresh slate. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. You could reset any time of the day. In fact, sometimes I reset a few times a day, and I always find a quiet place. Usually it's a restroom. I call it a restroom. Some people call it a bathroom. You don't always have to use the toilet. You could just go in there and wash your hands, or wash your face, or maybe just do some weird things like breathe. And you know what? It's a reset. But in the morning, it's a proven scientific fact that there is this momentum because of the waves. You're still in beta waves. You know, you're getting into alpha because you're awakening, but you're in beta and a little bit of gamma. And that's when all the magic happens. And that's when momentum builds. And if you could, you know, put a little bit more mindfulness on how you want your day to be, not the way it was yesterday, because it didn't happen yet. So put an objective out of the day of how you want it to be, whether it be a day that if you're suffering with severe grief, and you haven't addressed in a few days because, you know, you everybody gives time off for grief because everybody grieves differently. That's okay. But, you know, set an objective to maybe or fix your hair or take a walk. So I'm going to go through some bullet points that I'm sharing from Health.com. Again, I am not a professional medical licensed therapist or doctor, but I do like to share for well-being. So one of the things it says, again, get outside. Now, even if you don't have a yard, or unless you're in prison, actually, even if you're in prison, I think you're still allowed to go outside. So basically, go outside and just close your eyes, and you know what? No matter what comes to your mind at that point, just take fresh air, deep belly breaths, and there's something to be said about that. It does heal. The oxygen replenishes your, you know, it just replenishes. Oxygen heals your organs. It just does it. You don't have to tell it how to do it. It just knows how to do it. All you need to do is be mindful of consciously breathing, not shallow breathing like you would just when you're just walking or, you know, doing your work. So the other bullet point is move more. Move more. And you know what? If you have a hard time walking or you're not able to walk, hey, can you move your head? You know, can you do this? If you can't even do that, could you move your eyes, move your hands, move more? And you know what? Stick with a routine. There's a lot to be said about routine. Consistency, it just brings order. And when you're going through a hard time, we all need some order in our life. And so stick with the routine and do something with your hands. And I don't mean like talking with your hands like I do. I love to do that. I'm definitely a hand talker, but you know, do something with your hands. Maybe paint, cook. You know what? Feel things, you know, like one time somebody gave me rocks for like rock therapy. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it was just the experience of feeling something smooth, and that's nature, sand. You know, again, it does something to your senses. It gets your mind off things. Somehow it helps you connect on a different level. And another point here is connect with your spiritual side. Well, now you're talking my language. Connect to your spiritual side. And, you know, I'm not necessarily talking, you know, the ghosts, even though I do believe in ghosts. I believe in the afterlife. I believe in spirit. I believe in that kind of stuff, and I'm not sure exactly, you know, what I'm talking about when I say I believe in it. When I say I believe in it, I only believe what was proven by science, is that energy can't be destroyed. It can only be converted. So if we're energy beings, again, I believe that it converts to something. So again, it's the mysteries of life, but, you know, tap into that spirituality. Like, how do the trees know how to grow? How do the birds stay safe? Again, it's tapping into spirituality. It's not necessarily about ghosts and goblins. You know, it's about the mysteries of life. And for me, that's what spirituality is. But again, find your spirituality. Everybody grew up believing something. Even if it was growing up believing there is nothing, then what made us? Again, maybe your spirituality is the stars. Again, tap into something that can take your mind off your grief. Excuse me, something fell. There we go. I just want to grab it, so I'm going to share that later. And where was I? So, you know, another thing is visualize yourself calm. Come on, go to that happy place, even if it's a bucket list. Mount Everest, if you're, you know, one of those daring people. A nice island if you're like me and you like to go on vacation just to chill and relax. But again, visualization. You have that power in you to visualize, and even if it doesn't come easy to you, maybe look through some magazines, pictures, movies, and then think of yourself there. And again, I'm not talking about wish yourself there, because that could be a setback. You know, you got to be realistic. And if it's something you really want to plan, then do what you need to do to get what you want. You know, I'm not telling you to just sit back and wish your life away. No. But, you know, visualization, there's a lot to be said for that. Also, take a bath or shower. It's like a wake-up call. It's a refresh. It just... again, it does a lot. Make gratitude a regular practice. You know, everybody should have something to be thankful for. I feel like that's why I named the show Mornings with Instagram. I feel very thankful if you get to wake up in the morning, if you love life. It's just a gratitude. Watch choices. You know, again, how bad do you want to feel better? Okay, now we all are going to go through times that we're going to want to feel sorry for ourselves, and we're going to experience the pain whether we like it or not. But give yourself a time out. Okay, tell yourself, okay, you know what? I need to go through this process because that's natural and normal, but limit it, because it's not good for you to carry on with those heavy feelings. It could just go haywire inside. Your heart, your mind, eventually it will start to stop your organs from working properly. And, get enough sleep and not too much sleep. Same reason. Confront your problems. Oh, this is a hard one. Like, really confront your problems? Wow. Cope is a loaded word, and I think confronting your problem is probably on the front line of coping. And I think everybody at some point, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I would only imagine that, you want to bury your head. You don't want to face it. Who wants to face it? Who wants to face anything that's an adversity, especially facing loss? Like I said, if you can get over loss, you can get over anything. And we are here to lift each other up and make it a better day. Even through our hardest times, there is something to be learned. And again, recognize rumination, and that's just thinking over and over and over again. And that's why, when I built this application, again, with a team of support and developers, and and we all need each other. But when I developed this, I realized, what, this is a place that you could talk about the good stuff, and it will bring you back to that happy place. And being able to share somebody's legacy while you're living in your dash, because we all have a dash, and if you're living in the dash. And again, try a different perspective. Somehow, try to look outside yourself and see the whole situation. Now, when somebody passes away, can you do anything about it? No. I mean, unless you have like a time machine, and the only time machine we have is our minds. And with that, we could take it one step further and embrace those beautiful legacies. But you have to really see, well, where do I go from here, and just put a different perspective. Because again, if you can't do something about something, you have to find a solution and figure out what choices do you have. So again, try a different perspective and pay attention to your eating. Again, eating can be a comfort thing, and I know that very well because I found myself very comfortable eating. But you have to be mindful when you start to feel really full or sluggish. There are telltale signs. The scale is going to start to go up. Your clothes are going to be busting. Again, it's not about looks. It's about health. And so be mindful of your eating. Now, listen, not everybody could be, I don't even want to give a number, but whatever an ideal number would be. I look at it this way. You got horses, you got bunnies, you got dogs, they all eat different things, and they're all different shapes and sizes. Don't beat yourself up. But when you're being healthy or not. Be mindful. Be mindful of what is the right portion and not portion. And, again, when you're coping with loss, those are things that could slip away on us because we just don't want to confront our issue, which is, grieving. So with that being said, I'm going to share a quote that I always like to end with. That's that little paper that, but here we go. And a shout to Women's History Month. And this is a quote from Alice Walker, who is a waymaker, a novelist, activist, a beautiful woman. And this is what she quotes. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. So I invite you to join us on any of our platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out our merchandise on our website, msgraham.com, and you'll see something in our menu page. We have our celebrant mugs. We also have our sweatshirts with links to Amazon, so you can see all our other t-shirts and colors. With that being said, we are a Prosper for Purpose company, and we do like to donate to various charities, but the one I like to support the most is the American Red Cross. And as a volunteer, I like to share all their good work. And please, go to American Red Cross and see how you can contribute. There are so many things you can do to help. And it's such a great feeling when you help somebody. It always comes back to you because, those are the laws, the loyal laws of the universe. So I will be sharing those links, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And look for our private Facebook group so we could explore the app as a focus group. We are Miss You Graham app, and that's our Facebook private group. But again, join our newsletter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are looking to collaborate for an upcoming event we are calling Crushing COVID. And with that being said, we look forward to seeing you next week, and have an awesome day. God bless.